Hey, good day, everyone. I hope everyone's having a wonderful day. I would like to welcome you to another episode of Andrew's Life. I am going to be driving through Jeffersonville, Indiana on this video. I'm going to have a total of 3 different videos for Jeffersonville, Indiana, so stay tuned for the other 2. On this video, I'm just going to share some basic history of this city. Now, this city does have a lot of history. I will not be going through all the history because it would make the video very entirely too long. So I'm going to just give you a few pieces of history about this city that I personally find interesting and very informative. And then on my next video I do of Jeffersonville, it's going to just be over how I feel about the city. And then there's going to be a video after that, which will basically be me driving through some of the fancier, some of the outskirt parts of the city. So let's get started. Like I told you, I am driving through Jeffersonville, Indiana, which is located in Clark County. This city is located right by the Ohio River. It is right by Louisville, Kentucky. This city is located in southeast Indiana, right by Louisville, Kentucky, off the Ohio River. The population here is 48,530 people, and the population has grown by 11% as of the 2020 census. If you would like to live in this beautiful city, which you guys will see in a minute or two, the median home price is going to be $186,000. If you're just looking to rent prices are going to go anywhere from $652 to $1,388. And please forgive me, but I forgot to look at the houses here in this city to see what you would have to spend minimally in order to get a decent house. So my apologies. Now, as far as it goes for the racial makeup of the city, you got 75.7% white, you got 13.6% black, and you got 5.2% Hispanic. And we are now getting ready to enter in the city here. And obviously this is going to be part of the city's commercial area. I'm going to go ahead and take a quick moment, jump on the computer here. And I'm going to look at some houses real quick here in Jeffersonville, Indiana. And get an idea of some housing prices. Because sometimes the median home price is on key, sometimes it isn't so much on key. So we're going to see what's going on here. Well, I'm going to see what's going on, then I'm going to inform you guys what's going on. Now, right now, the cheapest house that's on sale right now is priced at $54,900. And in my humble opinion, as you guys will see on this video, now in my humble opinion, even when you drive through some of the poor areas of the city don't look that bad. I mean, I do see some houses with the bars on the window, but I don't see too many that are like that. And I would say that even the poor sections of the city, I mean, for the most part, the area appears to be clean. The yards don't look too bad. Most of the houses look like they're fairly well kept. And let's see, I said the median home price was $186,000. So let's see something. And I would say here in Jeffersonville, if you're looking to spend, if you're able to spend 186 grand for a home, it's not going to buy you anything fancy, but it will buy you something in a solid working class community. Now, I will say, if you don't mind having a home maybe that's slightly smaller, a slightly smaller lot, or if you're extra patient and you shop around for some deals, I would say you can probably find something half decent for maybe, I would just say $150,000. Now there is one house for $94,900 that's for sale, which is located on North Second Street. I'm not going to be driving through. I'm not. I don't think. I'm not going to be driving by that area on this video. But that house is $94,900, and it comes on about a quarter of an acre. So, I would say if you do a little bit of searching and you get you a good realtor that knows the area and cares about what they do, and they care about you as a client, then you can get a few good deals here in the city for around you. Yeah, you can get you some good deals in the city. But anyways, let's keep going. Now, Jeffersonville was founded in 1786 and named after Thomas Jefferson when he took office in 1801. In 1819, the first shipbuilding took place here, and the steamboat and the manufacturing of the steamboats would be the key to this city's economy. Now, every year here in Jeffersonville, there is apparently a festival that's held every September called the Steamboat Days that celebrates the city's history. By 1830, this city was the first and largest route for the fugitives crossing the Ohio River at Louisville. Now, what I just said is gonna go into a little bit of the history that this city has in concerns to the Underground Railroad movement. Now, hundreds of freedom seekers made their way to Canada through Clark County. And Jeffersonville was a wonderful place, and it also played a substantial role in the history of the Underground Railroad, in the Underground Railroad. Because, for one, Jeffersonville is located right by Louisville, Kentucky. Secondly, it's also located right by the Ohio River. So it made it a tad bit easier for the Underground Railroad movement to go on in this city, due to it being so close to Louisville, which is considered to be the South, and also right by the Ohio River. In 1931, between January 9th and the 23rd, the Ohio Valley had a record rainfall that flooded the Ohio River, causing 90% of the city to flood. Now, there was an estimated damage of $250 million in the city, an estimated, I can't even talk. There was $250 million worth of damage estimated that was done throughout the Ohio Valley. Now, in the late 1930s, the city has also earned the name Little Las Vegas due to the gambling activity that went on in this city, that was allowed to go on in this city. Now, there was an organization called Greyhound, which basically was a dog racing club. And, and apparently they had a lot of dog racing going on here, and people bet on the winning dog. And this is my speculation, but I'm going to assume that the dog racing club was ran somewhat like the Churchill Downs is ran in Louisville. Just like people go to the Churchill Downs and they bet on the winning horse. I'm going to assume the dog racing that went on here in Jeffersonville was operated very similar. However, gambling became illegal in 1938 because there was the murder of Clarence Amster, who was a resident of New Albany at the time. Now, of course, with gambling being legal here in Jeffersonville, before it was illegal in 1938, but back when gambling was legal, it attracted a few people like Clark Gable, John Dillinger, and Al Capone. So yeah, gambling here in Jeffersonville became illegal in 1938 due to the murder of Clarence Amster, a New Albany resident at the time. Already said that, but I said it again, so forgive me. And in concerns to the Civil Rights era, well, this is actually before the Civil Rights era, but Jeffersonville ended segregation in its public schools in 1952, 2 years before the Supreme Court case of Brown versus the Board of Education, which in that case, it was ruled segregation was ruled to be unconstitutional. Oh, and another thing about this city is, I forgot to mention this a little earlier, but the crime in this city, now the violent crime in this city is a little above national average. And as I've explained on other videos already, that is not bad. I mean, this city is only a few points above the national average. So the crime in the city, the violent crime in the city is fairly low in that regard. Now, property crime is 10 points above the national average, which again, that's not bad. Because I've been through and even lived in cities that were around this size, if not a tad bit smaller, to where your violent crime was more in lines of double the national average, and your property crimes were double to triple the national average. So I would say the crime here is not bad. It's fairly low compared to other cities of this size, especially when you take into consideration how close this city is to Louisville, one of the major cities in Kentucky. So, well, I told you guys I was gonna save how I feel about this city for another video, but you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and tell you guys how I feel about this city on this video. Now, I'm gonna still have those other two videos, but I'm gonna give you guys my feelings about this city on this video. Now, personally, I like this city. Now, back in back in the early 2000s, I lived in Louisville, Kentucky. I lived in Louisville, Kentucky for about a year and a half. I lived in Louisville, Kentucky from late 2003 to mid 2005. So I was in Louisville, Kentucky for a year and a half. Now, as far as how I feel about Jeffersonville, Indiana, I mean, I will say that Jeffersonville is one of Indiana's nicer cities. That's not the suburb. Now, I guess there are certain people that might consider this to be a suburb of Louisville, given that it's right by Louisville. But technically, Jeffersonville, Indiana is not a suburb. But anyways, in my humble opinion, Jeffersonville is one of Indiana's nicer small cities. I mean, as you guys can see, it's right by the Ohio River. And if you were to come down here during the summertime, you would see a fair amount of foot traffic. You would see a fair amount of visitors and tourists that will come down and visit this city. They're going to want to come down and, be by the river. And up on the hill, as you guys can see, you got little, I don't know what they call them. You got little, I guess you can call them lakefront homes, even though it's not the lake still. Those houses up there are a resemblance of some type of a lakefront home, even though it's the river and not the lake. And another thing I like about this city is as I read earlier, the crime here does not appear to be too high. The majority of the neighborhoods look fairly decent. Even some of the neighborhoods in the poor section of the city don't look that bad. Most of the roads here look good. They're not all torn up with potholes and crap like that. And I would say out of most of Indiana cities, given that this city is located on the far southern section of the state, when it comes to the climate down here is going to be warmer than most parts of Indiana. The climate down here is going to be warmer. You're not going to have as much snow. And let me look something up real quick. I'm just curious. I'm gonna see how many days of sunlight that you'll have in this city of Jeffersonville. Okay, now in Jeffersonville, you're going to have 192 sunny days per year. Now, I would say in most Indiana cities, you're going to have anywhere from 172 to 178 sunny days a year. So in Jeffersonville, you're going to have a few more sunny days a year than you will in many other Indiana towns. And I would say as far as the climate goes, it's going to be a little warmer. And you're going to have less snow. Considerably less snow. I mean, I'll give you guys an example. Like, if I were to compare the temperatures here in Jeffersonville versus, let's say, somewhere in northern Indiana, I would say the temperatures down here are going to run around 10 degrees warmer, sometimes even 15 degrees warmer compared to northern Indiana. And compared to the middle section of Indiana, such as Indianapolis, I would say the temperatures could run anywhere from 5 to 10 degrees warmer than mid-Indiana. And when it comes to the snow, Indianapolis might get, let's say, 6 inches of snow. You come down here, they might only get a dusting, or they might only get a couple of inches. Now, obviously, if you were to go to the southwest part of Indiana, which is actually a little further south, that's going to be going towards Evansville. I've done a video of Evansville, so go check that video out. But if you go to that section of Indiana, the temperatures are going to be a couple of degrees warmer. Yeah, sorry for that. The temperatures are going to be a couple of degrees warmer. And as far as it goes for the snow, it's going to snow even less over there. And your days of sunlight in that section of Indiana, the average days of sunlight will be 205 days a year. But just as a reference, I just wanted to put that out there. But I would say overall, Jeffersonville is definitely one of Indiana's nicer small cities. I mean, traffic here, during rush hour, you will have traffic around here. I mean, given how close it is to Louisville, rush hour traffic around here will get a little busy. It's not going to be bad, but it will be a little busy. And honestly, one of the main reasons why I most likely would not live here in Jeffersonville, like if something crazy went on in Alabama and I chose to move back up here to Indiana, I would say when it comes to the climate that's here in Jeffersonville, and I would say when it comes to just the general layout in the setup of this city, I like it. Now the housing prices down here are a little more expensive than other places I've lived in the state of Indiana. However, I like this city. I like the setup. I just like how the city looks. And also like the climate. It's not as warm as what I would like, but compared to other parts of Indiana, it doesn't get as cold. You don't get as much snow. And as I just explained, you do have those extra few days of sunlight. Now, the only reason why I probably would not move down here, and I say probably because probably means I could change my mind and eat my own words. But I'm going to say, at least for now, the only reason why I probably wouldn't move here is because the economy of Louisville, Kentucky is, like right now, there's plenty of jobs and employment opportunities to be had in Louisville, Kentucky. However, Louisville, Kentucky's economy is, it's iffy. Sometimes the economy in Louisville is okay. Other times, it's not doing so well. As where, if I go to a city closer to Indianapolis economy compared to Louisville's economy is significantly stronger. And I would even say that the economy in Fort Wayne is better than it is in Louisville. So Louisville's economy is not the worst, but it's not the best. And at this point, that's the only reason why I would be hesitant in moving here to Jeffersonville. Now, honestly, my goal ultimately is to become a full-time YouTuber to where I don't have to rely on local economies. Now, if that day came and I chose to leave Alabama and I chose to come back to Indiana, honestly, this would be the city I would most likely move to. So that's my 2 cents of how I feel about the city, along with a little bit of general pieces of information about the city. I'm going to go ahead and quit talking, and I'm going to let you guys enjoy the rest of the video. So stay tuned for my other two Jeffersonville, Indiana videos. And until next time, everybody have a blessed one, and I will see you on the next one.
Yeah.